Hello YouTube, my name is Mataro and welcome to my channel. As you can see from my thumbnail, I will be going over my first day on the new Asia server for the $4,000 Etheria Global Launch Cup. Just a bit of background about me, I've been playing since the launch of the game in June, and I've reached Mythic in both seasons of RTA while completing all of the PvE content. Honestly, if you're considering giving this game a go, I would try it now, as they've added so many quality of life features compared to how we had it at the start. So if you're into turn-based PvP games, I would definitely give it a go. One of the rules in this tournament is everyone has to make a new account on one of the new servers, and you have to stay free to play, which you can see here by this first buy bonus icon. I'm currently at level 17, and if you max refresh day 1, this is where you will end up once you've done all the content. If you're new, I recommend simply completing the main story quests and doing as much as you can. You can find it here, and just do all of this as soon as they are available. Once you've done that, you just want to do your hyperlink charter, which can be found here, and doing everything for the first time for your first clear bonus. So each time you unlock some content, the first time you do it, you get extra rewards, as you can see here. So do everything at least once while following the hyperlink charter. I would highly recommend max refreshing your stamina every day, at least until this Animus Reconfigure event finishes. You can see it here. So I currently have 5 days, 22 hours, but this is based off how old your account is. So when you make a brand new account and you make a character on that server, I believe it starts off at 7 days. So this is really important because if you don't like a specific unit, you can place them here and you will get all of your materials back that you've invested in your character. So, for example, most players will use this on Leanne because while she's great in the early game, she falls off pretty hard in game as the content just gets a lot harder and there's just better units out there that you'd rather use these lattices on. But the reason you need to invest in her is because of this hyperlink charter. If you look here, all of this is Leanne related, and once you finish this, then you pretty much don't need her anymore and you could reset her worry free. So I want to push all the content as hard as I can so I could finish all of this before the event ends, so I could reset her, get all my materials back, and invest in some better units like Plume, Veronica maybe, or even Batsby. So let's have a look at these units. So like I said, Batsby really good into Aurora later on and any content where the boss is weak to blue. Plume is just a god tier unit. Really happy that I got her. Valerian, she's super important in early game PvE while your units are still quite weak and you haven't invested into them enough that they can live, simply because of her S3 ability. Essentially, what this does is it makes everyone invincible while it's up, in terms of you can't get one shot by something. You still take damage, but you just live for one extra turn, which is massive when it comes to early game, where your gear is not that great yet and you still are lacking a lot of HP and you don't have any resources to get them all to 6-star level 50. I haven't invested any lattices into her S3 yet because so far I haven't needed to, but as the content gets harder, I definitely will be looking into this first. One of the mistakes that I made when I first started the game was I didn't value the SR units as much as I should have, and I forced myself to pretty much just use the SSR units because, well, gold has to be better than purple, right? But some of these units are actually super underrated. For example, Grey is great for early game Doki Doki, which is where one of the modules here, which holds one of the most important modules that you will ever get in this game, which is Swift Rush, as it controls your speed. And you got units like Obol, who's great for CCing units, and even units like Sanya. Sanya is OP. When I get enough lattices, I'm definitely going to max everything out. So my plan for the game is just pushing as far as I can while hoarding as many lattices as possible, and just not heavily investing in everything in the early game, and just pretty much making do with what I can while just completing the hyperlink missions. So here in my modules, you could see that I haven't gone past level 12 on anything, and I'm pretty much just like being super conservative and only going to level 9 on any of my modules, because these coins are really hard to come by. It may look like a lot now, but trust me, they will disappear really quickly. If you go to your characters, what I suggest is just coming up with just default gear that you can just slap on any of your DPS. So just focus on the right side pieces. Everything else doesn't really matter that much. Just work with what you've got and just share your gear around. So all you need to do is click on this button here, hit save, save plan, and then you can just like save it and then reuse it on any other character. So if I want to use this on Batsby because I need to kill content where Leanna's weak, I can just quickly swap it over and I don't have to worry about making another set of gear, which we never had, by the way. So this is such a good quality of life, because back then we had to manually change each spot and it was absolutely painful. So now that day 1 is over, what are my next steps? Pretty much once it resets and I can refresh my stamina, I'm just going to be pushing my level as high as I can as possible while doing as much of this hyperlink charter as I can. I really don't want to invest too much on any units yet, and I will do so sparingly until I hit a brick wall. Currently, I am trying to pull for Freya because I think she will boost my account progression quite a lot based on the units I already have. I'm already 40 pulls in, so the summons that I get on day 2 should pretty much guarantee this for me. Hopefully she comes home early because I really want to gamble on the permanent banner a little bit more. And I don't want to touch my selector till the very end, because we can get this within 40 summons, and summons come really easy in this game as long as you're doing all the content. So this is pretty much a no-brainer. The reason I'm not picking this now is I don't want to get a dupe. There's so many characters that will benefit my account in PvP later on for the tournament that if I get a dupe, it's gonna really hinder me in terms of my flexibility when I'm trying to draft or come up with strategies. And just dupes in this game, while they're amazing, as a free-to-play player, it's just so much better to have a variety of units so you can spread yourself and give yourself like more options when it comes to drafting and what strategies you can run. So depending on where my account is at towards the end of the 4 weeks that we have to build an account, that's when I will be using my targeted summon. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed my first video and it's giving you some context in terms of what my plan is going to be moving forward. And I'll catch you on my next one where I just go over day 2 and how things have gone and what's happened. See ya.